It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS. Here's how I view overhead. It's generally all the shit that doesn't make you money directly. It's a bunch of different investments, longer term investments that you make in your business. I would not include in overhead anything happening out in the field that's like actually out making money in your business. I would also generally not include in overhead marketing related stuff that's very like client acquisition specific. That has like a really quick, that like investment has a quick turnaround. Put money in, get jobs out, send people out to go do the jobs, get money back in. Overhead is all the infrastructure behind the scenes to run the business. It's all the stuff that doesn't make you money quickly. Like it's investments that we need to make over time to be able to scale a business. You can't scale a business without some sort of overhead. But it's not going to directly make you money quickly. So at a high level, I view it as like a thing to be very careful of. It's good stuff to invest in. It's stuff to be like aware of and mindful of and know that it's out there. But I have also seen people run their businesses into the ground because they got carried away with their overhead. I'll lay out, there's 3 different areas of overhead that I see. And then I want to start getting into these, and I want to, Angela and Sean, I want to hear how you guys pick this apart. But there's 3 different types of overhead or like infrastructure. I'll use those words kind of interchangeably. 3 different types of infrastructure and overhead decisions that I tend to see. The first one, and probably the trickiest one to actually like get right, is administrative overhead. The people in your business that aren't out doing the work. Salespeople, customer service people, office managers, generally like the owner, the bookkeeper. That's all overhead, but it's people overhead, people infrastructure. Tricky to get right and have it be cost effective. The second piece of your overhead is like all the shit that they need to do their job. It's the rent, the utilities, the software. I'll throw liability insurance in there. Your fixed overhead is all of like the sticky infrastructure bills that you pay every single month. And whether you do twice as much revenue next month or half as much revenue next month, you're still paying the same amount on all of those bills. They're like locked in overhead infrastructure. That is like a really hard thing to pass along to your clients. So that's probably like the scariest bucket, where if you overinvest there and it doesn't help you scale up very fast, you like lose a lot of money out of your pocket. The last bucket of overhead is more like reactive or frugality type of decisions, where something goes wrong or goes well, and it's an opportunity to make an investment to try like pursue something or fix something. So one of those huge investments would be recruiting. Sean Day. I'd put that in the variable overhead bucket of something might go wrong, aka like 2 or 3 employees quit and you got to go spend a bunch of money on Indeed ads because you need 5 people tomorrow, or you're expanding services, or you're growing and you're going to hire more people, and so you're going to spend money on recruiting ads. So it's more of a reactive thing. As we say often on the show, always be prudent. I would never stop spending money on recruiting, but there's damn well going to be months where I'm spending $1,000, and then there's going to be months when I'm spending $5,000, because our businesses only make money when we have great employees. That's like, if we don't have that, it doesn't matter what the hell else we do. We ain't making any money. In that variable overhead bucket, I would also throw meals, travel, entertainment, employee engagement would be a big one there. It's like, it's an investment and it pays off, right? We got to take great care of our employees, but like we might buy them coffee, or we could throw them a party and take them out for steaks. We could spend $10 or we could spend $10,000, right? So it's variable in that it's still an overhead decision, but it's not locked in like your fixed overhead. You're making frugality type of choices. So anyway, that was a whole lot of me talking about what I think about overhead. Angela, you were nodding your head a little bit. I think generally you may have agreed with something that I said. Okay. Sean, you know, I saw you nodding, but I did throw recruiting in there, so I know that got your goosebumps.
I'm glad you followed up with the hopper strategy there and keep it and always be recruiting, because I was blood pressure was moving, man.
Angela, what do you think? What would you add? What would you subtract? What would you add?
Oh, I like your list, and I think a lot of people think of it as don't throw your last bucket in there. Don't think of that many people just generalize overhead costs as your fixed expenses. that don't have anything to do with, aren't directly tied to your income. But like you said, whether your income goes up or down aren't directly tied to a job. Like you go get another job, you go get 10 more jobs and those expenses stay the same. And most people kind of end their overhead thought at that, I think, which was your first two buckets. But the third one is, like you said, the tricky one, and where people can get carried away. And it's definitely worth investing in your people, investing in culture. Those meals and trips and entertainment, like all these things are good things and important in growing a business, but they can get out of hand.
If you're the type of person that has a spending problem, you're going to know about it right there in that third bucket.
And these are more decisions and analytical, right? You make a one-time decision on your rent or your lease, and a one-time decision on what your admin cost is. So those are often, one-time decisions. Does this work? Can we cover this overhead cost? One-time decision, done. And that third bucket is daily decisions of, is it worth it? Is this worth investing in the employees or not? Does it mean I don't have to spend as much on recruiting if I have a better holiday party? Or they have more benefits? So that third bucket is just a constant way. Not only if you have a spending problem, do you know it, but is daily decisions about your business.
Yep. Which, like, it's good and it's bad. That's a lot of decisions to make. The nice thing is that you have decisions to make. So if like money is tight, that's a lever that you can like throttle back on. Whereas like, you can't just tell your landlord like, hey, I'm just going to send you like half of the rent this month. I mean, you could tell them that. You might, get an eviction notice shortly thereafter. But the variable costs, that third bucket, is like what you can control right now. So I do see like frugality when it needs to happen, happens there, right? Because it's the thing that you can mess around with because it's not people and it's not locked in. So it's got its good and bad nature to it.